Chill here with Sirius Talisman. This is Soul Hour Jupiter Day, and we are almost at the new moon in Scorpio. Sun is with Mercury in 28 degrees Scorpio, and Mars in 11 degrees Scorpio, ascendant 19 degrees, 11 degrees Sag, ascendant 19 degrees Sag, and Jupiter with Procyon almost leaving the 25th degree um, in its retrograde motion. I want to talk about sixth house in astrology. Okay, so this is benevolent teaching series where I share some astrological information for free, and those who will make tangible benefit from that um, are invited to consider if they would want to share dividends in the future. And let's talk about the sixth house. Sixth house is physical health, pets, our daily routine where we are of service to, or also a daily routine regarding to caretaking to our health. It is us as employees or civil servants, and it's also our employees when we have a business. Okay, when we have a medium business, if we have like a megalithic corporation, that would be the 12th house. So um, now, how do these themes interchange when it comes to the sixth house? One of the things that can happen is if a person is in a job that's not satisfying or that's not yielding, they could get actually sick. Okay, if a person needs to rest and they're looking for a job, they might get a disease. That's you can look to the sixth house to see the type of physical diseases that a person is sensitive to when they neglect their rest, or even physical activity. If they work in a job that doesn't allow them, to maintain their fitness and so on and so forth, so that can lead to disease. On the other hand, if they do something of service, think about the fact how walking the dog is actually taking a walk, or playing with the pets can actually be also working out or moderate physical exercise, um, and that can help to maintain physical health. It can also be when a person is doing something of service. For example, I have the ruler of my sixth house in the third house, and when I'm digging my half moons, it's actually something. Gardening is something I picked from a neighbor that had a heart condition, and gardening helped them improve upon their heart condition and overall health. So, working in the garden or digging half moons is actually contributing to my physical health, and this allows me to somehow take care of my well-being in a astrologically adjustable schedule. Okay, and this is where the sixth house comes into play as well, because it's one of the schedule houses. Okay, it's one of the and this is where, if a person, let's say if somebody has Aquarius sixth house, that would be Virgo ascendant. Okay, working working with the astrology, and they have to see where Saturn is. So working with the astrology can really, really help them to maintain their physical health. Okay, if they're overworked or their resting will not be suffice, because there is a time to do certain things, and when they're not in alignment with that, they might feel it more than I don't know, other signs or houses. We have to appease the sixth house sign when we're looking for our health, but also when we are hiring employees, and when we are a service, whether we are independent, whether we are civil servants or employees or working in our business. The sixth house would be how we are of service to people, and it's also one of the schedule houses. And so, and don't be fooled there. Having a sixth house, Sun in the sixth house, or Leo sixth house, does not mean that the person has to go by the solar cycle. And this is imperative to understand, okay? Because that can get them very easily sick. Um, they do have to think about the solar hours and the solar days and nights as, for example, right now it's sun hour and sun is ruling my sixth house, and we're about to have a new moon. Okay, so that is where this topic comes up in my life. Somebody would have, let's say, an Aries sixth house. They will need to be sovereign in their work. Somebody that has Uranus in the sixth house um, is highly unlikely, unless it's like Uranus Capricorn or something. Even then, they're highly unlikely to. They're going to need a more cooperative structure in their workplace. Okay, the best of cases. It's not kind of like, I have a Uranus in the 10th house. 10th house is career, amongst other things, and that doesn't go doesn't work with bosses. Okay, it just doesn't. It's not about it's not about being rebellious. It's just something in the energy is not aligning with any type of hierarchy. And funnily enough, I have Jupiter that rules it in the middle decan of Capricorn, which is quite quite a corporate, like there's something really kind of like a cooperative corporation type of energy that I haven't sorted out in my 41 years. Now, let's say what prompted me to press record was a lady that was helping pets, and she was spending quite some money on this endeavor. Now, people that do that, first of all, helping pets is one of the remedies for sixth house. So that can assist when people would need access to medicine. It may come return to them when they need, especially if they have Saturn in the sixth house, or Saturn ruled sixth house. It may return to them if they ever need something. Okay, people that are supposed to go through like a physical treatment, a physical procedure, then actually helping animals. Okay, to pay the medical bills of pets or animals that other people save as charity is very, very benefic. Okay, to this. Thank you. No, it's okay. Thank you. Okay, it's very, very benefic for this. If you have employees, that can also be benefic. Having pets at work. Okay, one great remedy is I know one of the astrological talisman businesses is working in a way where people can bring their pets and children to work, and that's a great sixth house remedy. Okay, sixth house is employees with pets. I don't know what happens if somebody's allergic to this. They can't work there. But that can absolutely be a sixth house remedy. Paying your employees' medical bills, okay, is actually an excellent sixth house remedy. Now, if you, let's say, find yourself on the paying side and not so much on the receiving side, then hiring someone to build a business model for your company might be benefic if you meet them through that endeavor of helping pets. So it can be one of the owners of pets, um, or if you are a veterinarian, okay, then that can be hiring someone to, um, or you could be having a barter, or I know I offered someone to sit on business model, um, only per future dividends, if there will be, um, after I saw that they are really putting a lot into paying the medical bills for animals, for rescued animals. So more things to do with that. Yes, same goes with people paying the medical bills of people that are in need. Can be a great sixth house remedy. Um, if you're always on the giving side, one of two things can occur. One, if it is in your chart that you may need assistance to pay your own medical bill in the future, it might be where you're going to be cashing in on this natural charity that is happening, or you could be receiving a benefic advice regarding a business model if you hold employees that can improve upon your business model and thereby increase your profit. Um, Tips for business owners, tips that I've been implementing for at least a decade, um, tend to the topics of ritual abuse, child trafficking, human trafficking, as those are done as wealth consolidation on natural resources and real estate, and that is one of the key things, because this is where the kidnapping and torturing of these people is happening by classified projects, which is basically the taxes that we pay. So this is where tending to that as a business, raising awareness, okay, thinking creatively, what can you offer from your perspective. I tended to that a lot with astrology. Um, those things can be of particular importance when it comes to um, okay, when it comes to increasing the chances that your business will sustain and that your business will actually yield. Okay, the first line of profit is not the issue. The entire stream of energy flow in the business, which is also the currency, and it's also the rituals behind the currency. Um, okay, those things are really important. They take time to yield. Okay, right now, Uranus and Saturn are are in the closing sextile. The conjunction between them, I think, began in the 1990s. So it could have been around the time where I first saw an ephemeris. I'm not sure. I didn't know how to read it. In any case, it's not. I think it could have been the time where I saw the computation that one needs to do astrology, and I'm like, well, I could never do that. Next. Yes. 3 decades later, it's actually Saturn return. Actually, the Saturn return to that has probably been. Um, I think it could be that at the Saturn return to that, I began to charge for astrological readings. Like, never thought about that actually until now. Um, that might be my new moon, Eureka. Um, so, yeah. Uh, and I have been working for several years on the topic of the moon cycles and tracing my work and rest periods according to the astrology more so than according to dogmatic schedule. Okay, there's been several years that I've been exploring that because that's to do with my physical health. I learned to be a holistic health practitioner because I could not preserve my health in any workplace, and thus could not preserve. I couldn't keep a job because I would get sick. I would get sick of corruption, but aside of corruption, there is also the schedule thing, the energy thing, and it has been at least several decades. It has been several decades, at least 2 decades, that I've been tending to that. Um, whoa. Um, so, okay, so sixth house, very important to appease the sign and where is the ruling planet, conditions, because this is where these are the things to consider. And people that have that don't do that either have a job that doesn't yield, or just when they need to cash in on it, or just when they need to pay the dividends, and so on and so forth. Alternatively, they become sick, and then the money goes to medicine. It happened to me. Okay, I'm not speaking from. I'm speaking from my own painful experiences with a lot of mistakes that comes to the workplace and horrid environment. It's like when I worked, everybody, particularly my bosses, understood that something here is off, and I need different conditions. When I began to listen to my body, then there were the scrutinization of me being, God forbid, embodied and not attuning to the traffickers, basically. And so people can think about it, oh, they find an excuse not to do this, not to do that. Well, then I'll cash in on you guys when you get sick, I guess. And nothing conventional works for you, so you're going to need like somebody that knows something about something, and either me or my colleagues as holistic health practitioners will probably meet you at the juncture. But then it would be very embarrassing because you will not really have too much to pay us. um, so we'll have to work by dividends, and that's a 22 catch to undo when it comes to income. Because by then you would have spent all of your money on the doctors that come to take your soul. Okay, and that's because people thought, oh, I don't want to deal with such dark things as ritual abuse and so on. I'm just running a business. I don't care. And um, yeah, that eventually that is nobody wanted to deal to deal. Nobody wants to um, how should I say this? It's not an attractive topic. Okay, but that is something that we all need to tend um, to have any any life creation, wealth creation, that is energetically aligned, which means that would actually yield. So yeah.